Hello, I'm back again with another update on the Cobra 2000 here. Just want to let everyone know that's listening and offering comments and suggestions and stuff. The clarifier is definitely unlocked. Need to clarify that. So if I turn clarifier to the right here, you'll see the frequency counter is moving. So that's great. We know it's unlocked. It seems to be unlocked properly. As you can see, I have it hooked up to an antenna, Antron 99, and I am receiving some noise there and some signal, I guess. Turn up the volume. There's nothing on right now. So anyway, other than that, it's questionable. I may have some degree of, we'll say, low receive. I definitely have low TX. I'm going to just key up, watch the meter here. Audio, audio, audio. The modulation is pretty low. Over here you can tell. And I'm pretty sure that there is a massive issue with TX. So that tells me that this radio may need all the integral parts replaced, i.e. The final and driver, although they look like brand new and they look like the original spec. The 2166 and the 1969 that's in there. The audio amp and, different things like that. The regulator. That's what I'm thinking needs to be done. I did replace a 1000 UF 25 volt cap, which is located near VR10 trim pot. Which is an AM power trim pot. It seemed to have like a slightly swollen top to it, so I replaced it. So technically now what the issue is, I'm trying to align the radio. As you can see, it's warming up and it's going a little bit either going closer or farther away, not sure, but I think it's probably needs to be brought a bit closer. The issue I have now in following the Cobra 2000 GTL adjustment guide and based on the locations of everything, which is what I have here. Everything's all labeled here and I've double checked and everything seems to be fine. I can't really get sideband receive and transmit and AM receive and transmit on. What's happening is between the collective TX frequency and the USB TX frequency and LSB TX frequency, I just don't have the appropriate amount of adjustment. Right now, the cans are pretty well bottomed out, and I've been dabbling with the TX frequency, the collective TX frequency, VR5, and it's like I have to have it up on, I guess it's clockwise, fully on, and that don't seem to be right. And the CT2 USB TX frequency adjustment, that has a slight amount of deviation. Of course, it fluctuates. The frequency may be 5 kcs, I'm thinking. You can adjust it like up or down. And so I spent 2 hours yesterday evening just trying to methodically go through aligning the radio. And I think I've come to the conclusion in my novice intelligence when it comes to radios, my skills and talents, I've come to the conclusion that this radio is not going to align unless I have all the integral parts that are probably failing or failed replaced, and that's possibly the final driver and I say the other integral parts. So I've come a fair distance in getting the radio back off that 10 kc drop, and the audio issue obviously is seems to be somewhat fixed. you know, at least I do have lots of volume. I can turn it up, but I won't. Modulation is relatively poor, and I would say TX is relatively poor, but receive seems to be okay now. For now, it's reasonable enough. And I'm looking at the cans, you know, all the trim pots in there, and it's questionable as to what has been done and what hasn't been done with this radio. Difficult to say. It was in working condition when I first received it, and but that's that. That's you know, so I guess through the jigs and reels something has failed, but it's beyond my scope right now, and I'm just picking at it for something to do, just because I'd love to get this back up and running, but really it seems like I'm kicking a dead horse. So anyway, that's I just want to show you the lower sideband here. It's like I got like that. It doesn't sound right to me. The receive is like wacky, but I got the can bottomed out to get it to 26.965, you see, and it's not even there yet, and the can is bottomed out there. TX, let me kill the volume here. There's your TX, and excuse me, upper sideband. Obviously, it's a tad bit off. You know, it's within reason, but again, it's a matter of tweaking, and it's very difficult to get it right on the money. And here is TX. So the TX is pretty well close. I could probably get the TX on, but the receive is not. Now the other thing is, maybe I shouldn't be using the counter in the radio. I do have another counter, a realistic, a Radio Shack, but it's a handheld with an antenna on it, and it says not to. You got to be careful what signals you inject if you take off that BNC antenna and connect a BNC cable with a, you know, with a point. So the meters are free, and radio's back on frequency, you know, within reason. Audio is back, but other than that, I'm at a standstill. I gotta put the radio back now, put the top back on and put it aside, because I'm going to have to get some parts. Anyway, this video has gone on long enough, a bit too long actually. Thanks for watching, everyone, and thanks for all your help. Please rate and subscribe, and give me a thumbs up. Thanks.